"She's just a nurse." Fall back, the shout echoed. Through gunfire, the small woman crouched down and lifted the wounded colonel onto her back. 2 miles. Through enemy fire, nobody thought she'd survive. But then the radio crackled. Coordinates locked, calling air support priority. Classified. She didn't just save a life, she changed the entire battlefield location. A dusty outpost in Kandahar, Afghanistan. 2011. Main character Lieutenant Adira. Shot, 25 years, old battlefield medic, petite frame, Latina heritage, long brown hair usually tucked under her helmet. Mission, medical support, emergency care, and casualty evacuation. Most of the Special Forces soldiers and officers saw her as just auxiliary medical staff, not important enough to involve in combat decisions. A sergeant once said, "Don't touch that wound, call the real Dr. Adira." Just nodded. But later that night, during her shift, she was the one who saved his life from blood loss caused by improper bandaging. She worked quietly, memorizing every weapon type, every escape route, every heartbeat of the soldiers she saved in the battalion. Only one person believed in her: Colonel Marcus Trent, 49 years old, veteran of multiple Black Ops missions. He often told his men, "When I fall, I only want Adira by my side." Adira never talked about her past, but once during a quiet moment, she said, "I do this because of my mother." Nobody saved her the night before the emergency mission. Everyone check their weapons, maps, preparations. Adira silently cleaned her surgical tools, stuffed extra morphine and bandages into her vest pockets. A soldier muttered, "We need shooters, not nurses." She heard him, she always heard them. But she also heard something else: the sound of helicopters in the distance, the rhythm of her own steady heartbeat, and somewhere deep inside, the voice of her training instructor from years ago: "Never let them see what you're really capable of until they need it most. Tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow, everything would change." The radio buzzed with mission briefing: supply convoy to Barza village, medical aid distribution, low-risk operation. They called it Adira packed extra supplies. Anyway, she always did, because in her experience, there was no such thing as low risk in Afghanistan. She checked her medical kit one more time: tourniquets, 4 bags, emergency antibiotics. Then she did something strange, something nobody noticed. She pulled out a small tactical radio, tested the encrypted frequencies, and memorized the coordinates of every landmark between base and village, just in case. Have you ever seen someone quietly underestimated, but deep down you knew they were different? Comment: I felt it too. This story is inspired by actual events during an attack in Helmand Province, Afghanistan in 2011, when an American medic single-handedly dragged a colonel from enemy fire, called in air support, and saved 11 soldiers. Her name was never officially released. The next morning, the convoy left base for Barza village on a humanitarian mission, distributing medicine and communication equipment. But just 15 minutes in, the convoy was ambushed. Left side pressure mine explosion, right side RPG and heavy machine gun fire. Soldiers scattered for cover, but Colonel Marcus was hit bad in the thigh. Bleeding wouldn't stop. The squad leader shouted, "Call the chopper, call for backup." Radio interference, GPS couldn't get a fix. Everyone panicked, bullets flying everywhere. One soldier dragged away and disappeared. Adira crawled along the ground, dodging bullets while moving toward Marcus. She checked his pulse, stopped the bleeding, injected morphine. An officer yelled, "You're just a medic, fall back, nobody survives." Carrying him out, Adira said nothing. She knelt down, lifted the colonel onto her back. A grenade exploded behind them. She didn't look back. A soldier screamed, "You're gonna die," but she kept moving. 2 miles of red dirt on her back, a 200-pound man under enemy fire. No cover, no miracle. The first mile was hell, bullets whizzing past her head, explosions throwing dirt in her face, her legs shaking under the weight. Marcus drifted in and out of consciousness, mumbling, "Leave me, save yourself." "Not happening, sir," she whispered back, halfway through, her left shoulder dislocated from the weight. She gritted her teeth, kept walking. A sniper's bullet grazed her helmet. She stumbled, almost fell, but somehow stayed upright. 800 meters away, on high ground, an enemy sniper looked through a scope and whispered, "She's still going." His spotter said, "Take the shot." The sniper paused, watching this small figure carrying a wounded man through impossible odds. "No," he said quietly, "let her go." After 42 minutes of crawling, walking, and bleeding, she placed Marcus in a crater. Her hands were shaking, her vision blurry from exhaustion. But then something clicked inside her brain. She switched to emergency radio, installed backup battery, found the encrypted frequency. Her voice changed, became calm, professional, deadly, precise control. "This is Medic Shaw, priority, classified, need immediate air support at coordinates Bravo 79er, requesting danger, close covering fire, 1 critical casualty for medevac. Silence for several seconds, then coordinates, confirmed air support arriving in 180 seconds hold position. But something was wrong. The voice on the radio paused, then asked Shaw, "Is this the same Shaw from Operation Our Shadow Adira's Blood?" When cold nobody was supposed to know that name. Nobody negative. Just a field medic requesting support. Another pause, longer this time. Copy that medic. But Sean, your tactical coordination is textbook special operations. Where did you learn to call coordinates like that through the static and gunfire? Adira realized she'd made a mistake. Her training had kicked in automatically. The precision of her radio calls, the tactical terminology, the way she'd position Marcus for optimal extraction. It was too professional, too perfect. "Just please send help." In the distance, she heard the beautiful sound of Black Hawk rotors cutting through the air, but she also heard something else. Footsteps approaching from behind. Enemy soldiers had tracked her blood trail. She looked at her sidearm. One clip, 12 rounds. Then she looked at Marcus, unconscious and helpless. The footsteps got closer. 3 insurgents rounded the corner, weapons raised. Adira moved faster than thought. 3 shots, 3 bodies hit the ground. The Blackhawks roared overhead, firing rockets to clear the landing zone. When the rescue team reached her, they found Adira calmly applying pressure to Marcus's wounds. Enemy bodies scattered around the crater. A Delta Force medic stared at the scene. "How did you lucky shots?" she said quietly. But the team leader wasn't buying it. He'd seen combat for 15 years. This wasn't luck, this was surgical precision. Back at base, the report was filed to the Pentagon. Within hours, the Tactical Security Bureau identified her. Adira Shaw, former strategic coordination specialist, code name Raven 9. The truth came flooding out. Before becoming a medic, Adira had been a top graduate of the Integrated Tactical Special Operations Program, but she'd withdrawn from the program 2 years earlier after her mother's death in a car bombing. According to classified files, her unit could have prevented it if they'd acted on intelligence reports faster. Colonel Marcus, recovering in the ICU, was shown her real file. His face when pale. Raven 9, he whispered. She commanded Operation Our Shadow. The mission that saved 3,000 civilians in Damascus. U.S. intelligence revealed more classified details. Adira had prevented 3 coordinated terrorist attacks in Istanbul, Tirana, and Bagram. She'd infiltrated and dismantled weapons trafficking network in Syria. She'd coordinated the rescue of 23 hostages in Somalia. She'd prevented a chemical weapons attack in Eastern Europe. All classified, all forgotten. Until now, her former commanding officer, General Hayes, was contacted. Shaw was our best tactical mind. She could see patterns nobody else saw, predict enemy movements 3 steps ahead. So why did she leave? Her mother's death broke something inside her. The car bombing, it was retaliation for one of her successful missions. She'd stopped a terrorist cell from poisoning a water supply, saved hundreds of lives. The general paused, but they got revenge by targeting her family. That's when she blamed herself, said she was done taking lives, wanted to save them. Instead, the most revealing detail came from her psychological evaluation. Subject demonstrates exceptional tactical intelligence, but suffers from survivor guilt. Notes subject's dedication to preserving life appears to be psychological compensation. But there was another secret in her file. The night before she left Special Operations, she'd written a letter to her commanding officer. "Sir, I've spent 5 years learning how to end lives efficiently. I've gotten very good at it. But I couldn't save the one life that mattered most to me. What's the point of being the deadliest soldier in the world if you can't protect the people you love?" A trauma surgeon who'd worked with her said she never talked about her past. But during surgery, she'd make decisions that saved lives in ways I'd never seen, like she was fighting a war we couldn't see. The rescue team leader filed an addendum to his report. Medic Shaw's tactical awareness and combat effectiveness suggest advanced special operations training. Recommend immediate background investigation. When confronted with the evidence, Adira finally spoke. "I left that life behind. I don't want to kill anymore. I just want to heal." "But you killed 3 insurgents today." She was quiet for a long moment. "They were going to kill Colonel Marcus. Sometimes you have to become what you hate to protect what you love." General Hayes flew in personally to debrief her. "Adira, we need you back. Your country needs you." She shook her head. "My country needs medics more than it needs killers. There are plenty of people who can pull triggers, not enough who can stop bleeding. But you're wasted as a field medic." Adira looked him in the eyes. "Sir, with respect, every life I save now heals a part of my soul that war broke. I'm not wasted. I'm exactly where I belong." The general left without another word. But he also left behind a classified commendation letter that would follow her for the rest of her career. "Our AVEN 9 remains the most effective tactical operator. This unit has ever produced her transition to medical service demonstrates the same excellence and dedication that defined her special operations career. After the mission, Adira refused the Medal of Honor. She declined all interviews, returned to a small medical station at FOB Chapman. A severely wounded Marine woke up and asked, "Who are you?" She smiled. "I'm the person holding your hand when it hurts." Word spread quietly through military networks. Soldiers started requesting transfers to serve near Shaw Station, not because she was famous, because they felt safer knowing she was there. A young soldier, scared before his first patrol, asked her, "What if I'm not brave enough?" Adira looked at him. "Courage isn't about not being scared. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when you're terrified." She continued cleaning her medical tools. "I'm scared every single day, but these soldiers need someone who won't give up on them." So I know. Months later, a SEAL team leader stopped by, placed a bloody dog tag on her desk. "Without you, my daughter." Still as a father, a medical student asked, "How did you know how to coordinate air support?" "Learn everything, even the things people think aren't meant for you." One night, during rocket attacks, she worked in the bunker for 18 straight hours. 37 wounded soldiers came through her station. 0 died. When asked about it later, she said, "Every person who walks out of here alive is my mother getting to live a little longer." Her replacement medic arrived 6 months later. "So you're the famous Raven?" "I know," Adira said, packing her gear. "I'm just someone who learned that healing is harder than killing, but more important." "Where are you going?" "Home. There's a VA hospital in Phoenix that needs trauma surgeons." She paused at the door. "Take care of them. They've been through enough." Years later, when military historians tried to interview her, she was working at a children's hospital, still saving lives, still refusing recognition. A nurse there said, "She's different during emergencies. She just appears like she knows exactly what to do." Did she ever talk about the war? "Once a child came in from a car accident, wasn't going to make it. The parents were crying." Adira worked for 6 hours straight, never stopped. "Did the child survive?" "Yes." "When it was over, I asked her how she knew what to do. She said, "I've seen too many people die. I refuse to let it happen on my watch anymore." That's who Adira Shaw really was. Not the decorated special ops soldier, not the tactical genius, just someone who refused to let pain win, someone who chose to heal the world one life at a time. Never judge anyone by their rank or title. A nurse can save an entire battalion when she knows that life doesn't discriminate by role. Adira wasn't a hero because she was strong. She was a hero because she refused to quit. The greatest strength isn't in the weapons you carry, it's in the lives you refuse to let go. Sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one everyone underestimates, the one who's been broken and chose to heal others instead of breaking them. Subscribe to The Ordinary Heroes, where we tell the stories that should never be forgotten. This isn't a story about a superhero. This is about a nurse who carried an entire battlefield on her shoulders and turned it into something that makes us believe in humanity again.